Y'all hang up and hang out, you know?
Wait on you, dude.
Waiting on me?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said you were waiting on him.
No.
Well, you're supposed to
I'm just sitting here.
don't fucking use that shit.
I'm absolutely.
Do not fucking use that
right
shit.
At the camera.
He was.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of Beyond the Diamond Podcast here on the Apollo Podcast Network. Brian LaLima, ApolloDez, producer Josh here with you. This episode, we're going to dive into the new rules for 2023 in Major League Baseball. Spring training is here and it is underway. We are that much closer to opening day where the Astros are going to raise that gold banner for their 2022 World Series championship. Dodgers are still cheaters, allegedly. So, Josh, producer Josh, let's get right into the rule changes. We're going to do, what are you going to do? You're going to read them to us, and then we're going to give our thoughts, right?
Yeah, I'm going to go one by one. I'll tell you the rule.
Okay.
New rules, new game.
Yep.
Yep.
It's gonna be a lot faster.
I also have exactly how to be enforced.
We're just,
the game's gonna be great for the young demographic.
Yep.
1
Way
hour
faster.
games.
we
1 hour
are
games.
definitely trying to grow the game. I hope you guys enjoy hour-and-a-half games. And then we're just three losers talking about baseball.
Might as well get your 2 beers.
Yep.
Because by the time you're done finishing them,
Yep.
beer
Game
sales will be over.
Yep.
Game over.
Game over.
You're only allowed
So
2
get your-
pickoffs, a bag.
Get your
a
Crawford
batter.
Bach.
Your what?
Your Crawford Bach.
All right.
Or
Cut
your
that out,
Corona.
dude. Hey, really cut that out. We're not repping Carbach on this shit. Fuck.
We should just we should
Yeah. No, really, you're going to have to cut that out. So, yeah, cut that out. Cut. All right, so enjoy your 2 cold beers that have been made for.
Yeah, because they're gonna be done.
Yeah,
By
they're
the
gonna
time
be
you
done.
finish your cold beers,
Yeah.
it'll be the 7th inning.
Dollar hot dog night's going to be a tough look when the games are
Tough
only an hour and a half.
No.
Man, tough.
quick.
Man.
All right, what do you got?
All
What
right,
do we got
first
for
roll up.
2023? All right.
The shift.
Banning of the shift.
Yep. If the hitting team reaches base and runners advance on a ball hit under the violation, the game proceeds without penalties.
Okay, so basically it's 2 guys on each side of second base.
2 guys on each side of
And you have to
2
have your
guys,
feet
2
in the
guys,
dirt.
1 base.
Yep.
You have to have both feet. Like 2 girls, 1 cup.
There it is.
We're gonna start.
Okay.
We're gonna start that. over.
What? That's a good bit. That's,
Yeah, keep that.
Yeah, so I don't know how they're going to enforce all this. Is there an umpire designated for all these new rules?
Yeah, I guarantee
They
you.
already can't call balls and strikes, and they already can't call fair or foul. Like, now we're adding more
Dude,
responsibilities
they're
to
going
them?
to be in the field umpire is going to be out there looking for violations. So I saw a diagram. Like, think about this. You could essentially have your third baseman playing shortstop, your second baseman. No, I'm sorry. Your shortstop playing as close to second base as you can.
Yeah.
Your second baseman playing over, and then your first baseman. No, I'm sorry. Your second baseman, whatever it is, they can essentially bring in a left fielder and put him where the grass meets the dirt if
Oh,
you
like
really
a
want to
rover?
fill in
A
a
little
hole.
softball
Yeah,
rover?
like a rover, and then just kind of leave left field open if it's a left-handed hitter.
Okay, but what about this?
That's the stuff people would be trying.
What
That's
if
the stuff. All right.
What if I put Breggs on the furthest part where he could be on the left side of the infield, which is kind of be like shortstop, right?
Yeah.
And I shift, like where Joey Gallo's up. So we shift all the outfielders right.
Uh-huh.
Why don't we just send Breggs on a sprint to
Right
left
to
field?
left field. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
You could do that. As
I know,
well.
but like
But you have to be. All the infielders have to be touching.
Oh, yeah, he can't. He's got to have his
All
feet
the
in
by
the
infielders
dirt.
have to
by
be
the
touching
pitch
dirt.
is released,
When the pitch is released, he can run out there.
or when the motion starts.
Correct. No, it's when the pitch is
pitch is
released.
released.
released. Yeah.
This is a crazy shit that we're going to have to think of and try
Yeah.
and talk about because of the banning of the
gonna be
shift.
interesting.
I personally, I'm indifferent. Like, I don't really give a shit, honestly.
It's supposed to mean more offense.
It's
so
going to increase
that's
off.
good.
Batting averages are going to go up. You're going to see more success.
I think it is going to have less of an impact than people would expect. I don't think Tucker's hitting 400. Because
So,
of this. He might get 10 points higher.
A couple of weeks ago, when all of this stuff started to kind of get talked about because we're getting closer, Super Bowl was over, we're getting closer to baseball season, spring training, I said that there would be somebody that would hit 400. I think I studied a little bit more. Like, really, the batting averages are definitely going to go up, but I don't know if anyone's going to hit 400. I wouldn't be surprised if we see somebody hit 370, 360, 370.
To play devil's advocate on your take right there where you said the 10 points, it doesn't matter. I think it does because if Kyle Tucker has 10 points higher in his batting average this year, he probably wins his arbitration case.
No, it's gonna matter.
And it's
I
gonna
just mean people are like blowing it like
all
these left-handed hitters are going to be hitting 350 all of a sudden. There might be one or two guys that really know how to
still
take
got to hit
advantage
a
of it.
fucking 101 mile per hour fastball,
Oh, yeah.
like, moving
Well, and then a lot of these
15
guys
inches.
ground out. Like it's going to take off the guys that hit that like short little pop up, and the second baseman is sitting in between second base and right fielder. It'll stop those, but a lot of these guys still ground out. And the second baseman is still going to be right in the middle instead of being at second base. Like, they can still be on the dirt. So if you hit a grounder to that side, it's still probably going to be caught.
I'm indifferent on it.
I'm pro shift.
You like the shift?
I like the shift.
Yeah.
So you don't like banning the shift?
I don't like banning.
Yeah,
it.
I don't really like it either.
I'm
I think
indifferent on
it's-
the ways I'm weighting it, but I'm pro shift.
Okay. What's another thing that I want to hit on during this episode is the Rays player that posted about the arbitration hearing and what he went through the process. We don't have to spend a lot of time on it. There's two little pieces about it that I'm like, it really pisses me off for the players.
We'll get into that when we get to the pitching rules.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
all that. But yeah, so so basically it becomes like football where if it affects the play, if they are in violation and the hitting team hits a ball or something,
So
and
they
it
play
affects it,
the play out.
they play the play out, and then the hitting team can decide to accept the penalty or not.
So it's like
if
a
there's
false start.
So if there's a penalty,
Or like an
no, it's
offside. It's like
offsides.
offsides.
Because you know,
Quarterback
offside,
gets the shot.
you just launch it down.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
launch it deep, right?
Yeah,
So
so-
essentially, if there's a shift violation and a dude flies out, you can say, we're going to take the penalty, redo the at bat. That's where
So-
we're at in baseball.
But you know what also? I don't know.
It would add one ball to the hitter's count, and you would restart.
You know the rule, like they always say, like if a pitcher balks, it's a free swing for you.
Yeah.
Every time it happened, I'd freeze the plate.
Yeah.
Like every time, like obviously that's like really rare when a balk happens, but it like whenever I hear like balk, I would just like stop. Like I would never,
Well-
I would never accept that free. Like so, like it's just
Well, you
something.
say balks are rare. They're now
they're
enforcing
going to be
the balks.
now.
So
now
that's one of the
we'll
changes
touch that
we're
one.
gonna-
They're
we're
going to
get
be
through.
by all
So,
the balk stock.
Snippet.
Stock.
When they were trying to shift thing out and the minors during the first 2 months of the 2022 season, the batting average on balls in play for left-handed hitters rose by 8 points as a whole.
That's a pretty big number.
Yeah, as
across
a whole.
a league sample.
Yeah.
Okay.
More
All right.
offense.
Next
More
rule,
offense, yeah.
the pitch clock. The rule is pitchers will have 15 seconds to throw a pitch with the bases empty and 20 seconds with runners on base. Hitters will need to be in the batter's box with 8 seconds left on the pitch clock.
Okay, so that's
So
going to
essentially, you have
do
8 seconds.
that's going to do different things. So catchers have to have more of an idea and a more in-depth plan, thinking a pitch ahead, because you're going to have to get the signal in with the pitch comm, right? So he's going to have to be thinking, which they already are, but now they're going to have to be more enhanced to it because of the pitch clock. And pitchers that have different kinds of windups and quirky stretches and things like that, you have to get on the mound and go. 15 seconds goes by quick.
You're taking the weirdness out and the uniqueness out of baseball. You're also taking the art of catching and calling a game.
Yep.
Well, yeah, and the back and forth, the pitcher staring down the hitter, and they like.
You're taking
call
all the
time.
little things that makes baseball great, where there's like a million chess matches going on in every single play. You're taking all that out. Like, and this is gonna be a ripple effect all the way down to like these kids that are playing little league ball, and you know your Bandito kids, all this stuff.
Yeah.
No one's gonna be able to like learn how to call a game. Like, there's times where I'm still in the stands. I'm like, all right, I'm thinking through this sequence because I caught for 20 something years. I'm just like, okay, I'm thinking through this as I would do this, blah blah blah. Like, you're just you're just pushing a button. Like, you're just you're almost like an AI now. Like,
So I think back to like when I was playing in college. Like there were at bats that I would have where I would get to the plate, and if I didn't feel good,
oh, dude, yeah.
I would call time and take a step out and then regather, regroup, and then get back in the box. I couldn't imagine stepping up there and having to get into the box with
Go,
7, 6, 5, whatever. What is it? 8 seconds?
Yeah.
So essentially you have 7 seconds
Yeah. So once the
to
pitch
get your
clock
mind right,
starts-
get in the box, which I know you have to get your mind right anyways, right?
Yeah.
But still, when you're walking up there, like,
Lord forbid if someone dug in your spot and you know it's uncomfortable too.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna sit there. I need to dig my spot out.
right, man. Like there are you go through routines as a hitter. You go through routines as a pitcher. Like, there are things that you do. There are little nuances in the game that you have to follow, like that you follow in your own mind, especially when you're at the plate, dude. Like, and I couldn't imagine at the big league level.
Who do you think is the first pitcher between Scherzer and Mad Bum that throws a complete bitch fit?
Oh, it'll be.
Is it Scherzer?
Yeah, I would probably say
before Mad Bum.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it'll be Mad Bum.
Really?
Yeah, he bitches about anything. You hit a fucking 400-foot bomb against him because he threw a cock shot cookie over the plate, and you do any kind of pimp job, he's staring at you yelling, "Get right around the bases!"
That's a good Mad
Bum. Get around!
It's a good Mad Bum.
God, dude, it's 2023, bro. People have flair these days.
I think the one thing that's kind of like upsetting is just the fact that like what happens in the late innings again? Like what is going to go on there? Like, and Hunter Brown had a great interview with y'all's 790 with Matt Thomas and Ross. That he talked about. He's like, there's ways around it, and he like figured out, or I guess people that were in the minors are coming up, and they've been used to it.
They're gonna have a little bit of an advantage.
Correct. And he said I don't want to misphrase him, but he said there's a way to like take your one step off, like on like a certain clock, and he's like, there's ways around it, but you only have a limited amount of times to do that. He's like, there's a game within the game there, but I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. If Hunter Brown knows, then all the other guys know like when to do it.
Yeah.
But
I mean, either way, like in baseball, you have to adapt and you have to adjust, right? Like if you're not adjusting in the game of baseball, then you're going to fail. But it just sucks that it's come to this. Like 15 seconds, man.
The pitcher has to start his motion to deliver the pitch, and if he doesn't, then it'll be an automatic ball. And if the batter delays getting in the box, he's not in the box with that 8 seconds, then it'll be an automatic strike. So that's going to be the first time that happens is going to be interesting.
You know that famous meme that makes it on every like baseball Instagram account? It was like the thing about baseball, like you can't sit on the ball and like run out the clock. Like you still have to get all 27 outs and throw the ball over the plate. Well, not so much anymore.
Now there's literally a pitch clock.
Yeah.
There's a shot clock essentially, but it's called the pitch clock. What else we got? What other rules?
Well,
so I
just want to say
all anti.
Yeah, I don't like the pitch clock.
I'm indifferent. I'll be honest, because I was watching the clock during a lot of games I was at last year, and I don't know on the hitter side that'll be different, but a lot of the pitchers get in there.
So I'm an up tempo guy when it comes to like I like tempo with pitchers on the mound. So I understand the pitch clock, but then I think about the game within the game, and that messes with that.
I do think that is one that I would like to stop like after the 7th inning. Because I think when you're getting into those late innings, big situations, I don't think...
And your closer, high leverage guys are kind of psychos.
Right, but then people are going to make arguments that, oh, well, there was something that happened in the 2nd inning because of the pitch clock, and now all of a sudden in the 8th inning there is no pitch clock?
Yeah. I mean, I would say maybe even just the 9th inning, no pitch clock.
So, like, also knowing, like, being from the player's side, like hitting side, not a PO side, if I knew a pitcher was like a little crazy, a little psycho to him, I would take my time.
Had a little Ken Giles.
I would sit there and dig in, and my digging in and stuff I would do anything to get him in his own head and get him rattled.
Yeah.
Because I'm knowing that guy's like just obviously he's gonna throw cheese or whatever, but I'm gonna do everything that I can to just get him out of that groove. Like I'm gonna take my time digging in. I'm gonna call time. I'm gonna do different things just to mess with him. Obviously, he's probably going to send one at me, but hey, free OBP. But, like, I'm going to do those little things to throw him off because he's doing things to throw me off.
Yeah, that's the game within the game.
Speaking of Scherzer and Mad Bomb getting upset, who's the first hitter that's going to, like, lose it over getting a strike?
Ooh, that's a good question. First hitter. Randy Rosarena.
Okay.
Random?
I would say...
It's kind of random.
I would say it's going to be a vet. I would say like Joey Votto. He's calmed down over the years, but he's still like he can occasionally rip into an up.
I'm just trying to think of someone that's gonna not like just gonna take their time still. Can you imagine Pujols with this? This would have been taken.
I mean, they're going to be hitters that I think purposely wait and put their last foot in the box on the 8 second every
100%.
single time. They're like,
but
"Fuck you."
How you can get quick pitch like. You got to
Sure.
think as a pitcher, I'm like now I have sub 8 seconds. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be
Yeah.
really interesting.
Well, in the minors, when they tested this out, they started with a 14 second and an 18 second. That's how they have it in the minors instead of 15 and 20. And it actually kind of worked. It shortened the average game by 20 minutes.
Damn.
So it actually works. That's the thing.
Okay.
And
All
that's
right.
why I'm like kind of indifferent about it, because that is like, I'm all about shortening the game if it's actually something that's going to shorten the game. Like some of this bullshit is like, oh, you're going to carve 10 seconds off the game.
Yeah.
But the results speak for themselves. If it's shortening the game by 20 minutes, I feel like that's not horrible, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I just know what you get with a baseball game, and it's going to be 3 to 4 hours.
Yeah.
No,
I mean,
I know.
obviously,
I
like I don't want the
personally-
5-hour games, but
Yeah, I
Right.
personally love a long game with the battle and the back and forth. Pitcher calls time, hitter calls time. Like, I love that. But I get, as you're trying to grow the game, keeping it with at least in that like 2.5 hour range is a good time for a game, especially a regular season game in July.
Yeah.
Trying to get
On a
audiences
Tuesday
into
night.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, that I understand.
But I think ninth inning World Series, if somebody gets an automatic
you
strike,
imagine the
like-
2001 World Series where Luis Gonzalez walked off Rivera
Yeah, Diamondbacks and Yankees.
runner second
Bung
and
Young
third.
Kim threw for the Diamondbacks.
Okay.
He threw that game.
He was the closer.
Wow,
Bung Young Kim.
that's a
think it's-
good callback.
Byung Young Kim.
Can you imagine though, like that game was dictated on a pitch clock violation or a batter, like
Yeah.
like a walk off to win the World Series in Game 7 is just like drop dead. The pitcher didn't. The guy gets a ball, bases
Yeah.
loaded, like that winning run scores, or vice versa. The guy doesn't dig in. It's a full count. Now it's an automatic strikeout. The game literally ends right.
Yeah.
Like I almost want that to happen, just to be like, look at you, Rob Manfred,
Could
you
you
idiot.
imagine?
There will be a game decided on this. Watch.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
just
yeah.
how baseball goes,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
You know when you're like a bench player,
Baseball finds you.
the baseball finds you, right?
Yeah.
The
It's
rules are
gonna
gonna-
ha-
the rules are gonna find the
It's gonna
commissioner.
happen.
Yes.
Watch.
It was
That's just how the game
bases
of
loaded-
baseball goes.
Bases loaded walk or a strikeout.
Something
Oh my
is gonna happen, and it's
Yeah.
gonna cost someone the game.
That is funny.
All right.
Yeah.
Next rule, the pickoffs rule.
God.
Pickoffs are one version of disengagement, which consists of any time the pitcher makes a pickoff attempt, fakes a pickoff, or simply steps off the rubber for any reason, as well as the defense requests time. So pitchers are allowed 2 disengagements per plate appearance without penalty. This disengagement rule resets if a runner or runners advance a base within the same plate appearance.
So essentially, it's 2 pickoffs to first per at bat, or 2 pickoffs to second.
What they're saying is even stepping off the rubber counts.
What?
That's what it says.
So 2 disengagements. That's
2
all you
disengagements.
get. So if you
Stepping off the
step
rubber-
off, if you step off,
So am I just taking a 75-foot lead?
That's the thing I'm interested in and worried about. But the catcher,
if
there
he's
is-
already picked over twice,
Uh-huh.
he has no more.
yeah.
Is my lead just? Am I stealing second base by the time he comes set?
Well,
You
the
can't
thing
step
is-
you can't step off, and he can't pick. Yes,
The
so yeah, that's
catcher-
what they want. They want more stolen bases. So yeah, you better take
You
the
just take
biggest
a
lead.
full
Yeah, you just
sprint.
take off
Take
because you
off.
can't pick off.
there's no
You can't even step off.
there is no limit to catcher pickoffs. Catcher throwing down to first.
Oh, but I mean,
yeah, but-
But I mean, essentially you could take a.
Who's gonna be the first pitcher?
Are you
that-
sure so? Are you sure it's step?
According to ESPN's breakdown of the rules, yes.
Read it.
says-
Read it.
So
the disengagement.
Pickoffs are one version of a disengagement.
Okay.
Disengagements are pickoff attempt, a fake pickoff,
Which
or
is
simply stepping off the rubber, or it also counts if the defense requests time, which doesn't happen too often.
Oh, Carlos Correa is gonna hate
Hate
that
it,
rule.
dude. So you're telling me if I'm a pitcher, I can only step. I can step off once and pick off once to first base.
Yeah, apparently. No, twice. Well,
That's what I'm saying. Pick
but
off
if you
once,
one of
Yeah, but
each, yeah.
Step off another. That's twice. That's 2 disengagements.
Yep. It's going to be interesting.
Like, I mean,
Dude!
after 2, my lead is literally
Huge.
89 and a half feet.
And as soon as a pitch,
And
as soon as he makes,
and I'm-
you're gone.
My batter better be auto taking because that's gonna be the
Yeah.
easiest bag I'm swiping.
Dude, Kyle Tucker's for sure going to be a 30-30 guy
Miles
this year.
Straw's gonna have 500
stolen bases
this
are
year.
going to go up. It says when they tried it in single A and high A, stolen base attempts skyrocketed. I
So-
don't have the numbers, but
I think this may be more exciting than the home run race this year. The stolen base race.
There could be a 50 steal player again.
Who was the last one? Ricky Anderson?
No, I mean Michael Bourne stole, or I think D. Gordon stole 50 one year.
Oh, no. What's the dude's name? Billy Hamilton. Look up at Billy Hamilton.
Yeah. Even Gore, when he was on the Royals, he was an auto triple when he got on first base.
How many? You talking about Alex Gordon?
No, Gore. He was on the Royals World Series teams. He was like the fourth outfielder.
The short outfielder.
Yeah.
Little guy. Yeah. Okay.
So Jonathan VR had 62 stolen bases 2016.
Jesus.
D. Gordon had 60 in 2017.
Villar had that many?
Yep. D. Gordon had
Wow.
2014 64, 2015 58, 2017 60. Since then, Trey Turner 43 in 2018, Acuna 37 in 2019, Trevor Story 15 in 2020. That doesn't really count.
Look at that
Trey
drop
Turner 32 in 2021, and John Berti 41 in 2022. It drops off. Like every year ahead of that is mid 40s to 60s.
Dude, there's
drops off.
I mean, and you mix in the bigger bags, like
Yeah. Jose Altuve led the American League in 2014 2015 in steals, 56 and 38.
Damn. That was non-power Altuve when he was
Yep.
just.
wow.
What if Altuve
Great.
starts running a little bit again?
Please,
Has a
I
little
know.
2020
I want his hamstrings
season.
to be okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
So I mean Trey Turner. Trey Turner might have 70 steals.
I'm
this year.
actually pro this rule, just for the chaos. Like I hate the rule, but like I hate it so much that I now love
Oh, dude,
it.
I can't wait until the playoffs. That free taco is going to come in game 1.
We're gonna have so many tacos.
I do think that pitchers will use the pickoff a lot less, which is helpful because that is really annoying when they're picking off 7 times in a row and like the stadium's like going like, oh, like come on, and like it's like taking forever. I get that, but it is once you've done it twice, that's
Nuts,
what's happening
dude.
next.
I didn't know. I wow. All right, what else we got?
All right, bigger bases. This also will slightly help the stolen bases. So we might have a 70 stolen base
I'm
guy this year.
I love the meme of that guy that just like did that absurd like pizza
with
sized
the
base,
bases
and people
giant.
like that's the best thing about the internet, that we can do dumb stuff like the allegedly
So many
video,
people on
and
Facebook
someone
were-
like called us dumb and stupid,
Yeah.
and then someone can create a meme like that, and people are like, "Oh, there's no way that base is as big as a
People
pizza
on
box.
Facebook were like believing.
Oh, the Facebook baseball world was like,
are.
the sanctity of the game is you can't have pizza boxes on the field.
So they're going from 15 inches to 18 inches.
18.
As long as I don't have guys rolling their ankles or
Yeah. I'm not. That's not going to affect it that much. It's going to help a little bit with safety.
I just think it looks stupid.
I mean, I don't think nobody's going to notice it, especially like a year from now. It's not going to be. Nobody's going to care or notice. I think. In the minors, it didn't create much of a change on its own. That combined with the pickoff rule did increase to stolen bases, but on its own, that larger bases didn't affect that much.
So are they worried about, like, from a safety aspect, are they worried about, like, collisions at first, rolled ankles at first, and stuff like that?
Yeah, I think
that the idea behind it?
all the bases in general, just less, like, when you're sliding in a second, having a little bit more room for your hand so you're not getting cleated
Well,
or
I mean,
whatever.
you might as well throw that orange safety bag at first base like they have in softball.
Yeah. I
Let
mean,
them
that's
run through that,
That's
you know?
essentially the idea,
Yeah.
but not doing that. And looking
Yeah, I mean,
dumb.
I think I fall in the indifferent category of,
Yeah.
of the bases.
I just think it looks stupid. Yeah.
It does.
I'm probably indifferent on it as well.
It does kind of look.
I just
dumb.
know, I don't know.
I kind of want pizza boxes, size pieces.
I mean, I don't. I think if they went any bigger, it'd be a problem. But 3
instead of
inches-
hard 90s, we're gonna have hard 75s.
Yeah, pretty much.
yeah.
What's after the bags?
That's pretty much it.
Well, so all right, so then there's two things that are not on that. You've got the enforcement of the balk rule.
Oh
The
yeah,
balk-
those aren't rule changes.
Right, they're not changes,
cracking
but
down
the
on
balk
it.
rule's been
Cracking down.
around forever. And now they're going to enforce it. So, this is going to be my take on it. What's the thing that we always talk about in the NFL? What is a catch?
Yeah.
Okay.
What is a balk?
What is a balk?
Yeah.
Because in the past,
it's subjective.
It's subjective.
Yeah.
So in the past, do you know how many left-handed pitchers can probably be called for a balk with their pickoff
Every
moved
day.
first
God, yeah.
because of the 45-degree, right?
Yeah, subjective. What is a 45 degree?
What's going to be a balk?
They need to put a little like line on the.
So what's going to be a balk?
rubber.
And now you have to think about it. All of these rule changes are to enhance the entertainment, more runs, more hits, more offense, make it better for the viewer, right?
Yep.
More revenue because more viewers, more TV ads, more TV money, so forth and so on. It goes downhill, right?
What about blackouts?
So there's that. Exactly. There's that. That's another thing. That's another topic.
We're speeding up a game that no one can watch.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I'm glad the game and the
they're
Rangers
trying to
game is faster
speed.
'cause
They're
I
trying to
watch it.
speed the game up, but essentially, imagine if you get called for a balk. Every time you get called for a balk in baseball, you want an explanation. So there, you're gonna have an explanation. If it's an egregious balk call, pitchers are gonna argue, managers are gonna come out and argue. One or both of them is getting tossed.
Yep.
If the pitcher gets tossed, then you got to bring in somebody else. There's 10, 15 minutes right there. And the same can be said about the sticky situation. They're going to be cracking down even more with the random checks and all that stuff. If a pitcher gets called out or gets ejected because of the sticky stuff, it's going to just add time. More runs equals longer offensive innings, equals longer time, so forth and so on. So essentially, you can make a case that all these rule changes are going to extend the game.
Yeah.
Sure.
Because there's going to be more
Complete
offense.
opposite, yeah.
I will play devil's advocate to that.
You're playing
a
devil's
2.5 hour, or say a 3 hour 1-0 game is a different product than a 3 hour 15-minute 9 to 8 game. Like with the more
That's
offense.
a good devil's
fair.
because like and to piggyback on that, we always remember Game 5 of the 2017 World Series, right?
Yeah.
The back and forth offensive onslaught, and that game was like 7.5 hours. We don't remember the 1-0 games. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
I mean,
like,
as a huge as a big
But
baseball fan,
after-
you're like, oh, that pitching performance. But
every
in
night
general, no, I know, but in general, the offense is always
you know what
better.
Major League Baseball should do? They should, and this is just free advice for you, Manfred. You should probably get
Bobby.
Bob.
Hey, Bob, listen.
Bob, this is going to you directly. Get a partnership with one of those moon pod things and just put them throughout the stadium because we're going to be there. Like, by the time the last game ends, like, the next game's going to start. They're making BP for the next day. So might as well, my season tickets just have a moon pod that we can just sleep in because...
And that's, you know what?
And that's free. I mean, take it how it is. If you want
some
to
airline
send it
miles,
right back,
whatever you
you know.
Like, and another thing, like you guys just said, like, they want to make the entertainment factor, more enhanced and better and stuff. But with these blackout restrictions, like you just said, you can't even watch the damn thing.
I don't know how I could possibly watch a Rangers game.
It is
I
beyond
watch it
me
on MLB TV, and I'm not going to pay.
how you can go to West Texas and you are blacked out from watching the Rangers and the Astros.
Well, there's I think there's
And you're forced to watch the Arizona
You're-
Diamondbacks.
Yeah, you're closer to like New Mexico than you are to Houston or Arlington.
there's somebody has it on the map, but I think it's Vegas. Like if you live in Vegas, and you buy MLB TV, you cannot watch the A's, the Dodgers, the Giants. I think Seattle as well.
Jesus
there's
Christ.
16. There's a spot where or Ohio maybe you can't watch 6 or 7 teams play baseball, and then if it lines up and you have MLB TV, you can watch 3 games.
And you can
Hey, but if you have Apple TV,
I did.
you have
can
Apple
even
TV.
you can buy
Get that one game.
that Premier package, and there are still restrictions on the Premier package that you buy.
Yeah.
Like
If there's a package where this went over the blackout, I paid $75 a month, whatever, and I don't have blackouts, then okay, if that was an option. If you want to have the money to spend, then you do that. Even though it's kind of
They should
outrageous
absolutely-
streaming package.
Yeah.
But even like you said, to get the highest MLB plus platinum diamond level package,
Well,
and
even
you
if-
still can't
still can't do
what's
it.
the point?
Even if I could just pay from just my team, if I could
Yeah.
just pay,
So-
I want to pay $150 this year to
Yeah.
watch my team play
Right.
on Apple TV or MLB TV wherever they play.
it should be like
Yeah.
if we are Cincinnati Reds fans and we had to move here for work, but we are diehard hard Red fans, there should be a way to pay for a package that you can watch every Reds games, regardless of where they play. Just like you were just talking about. Yeah. That's how it should be. Well, it's not that fucking hard.
Well, that's the shitty thing is hometown teams can't. Like, I couldn't. There's no reason for me to buy Apple or MLB TV living in Houston being an Astros fan because I won't be able to watch them on there. When I lived in Illinois for a bit, it was great. I bought I bought MLB TV and I could watch every Astros game unless they were playing the White Sox
or the Cubs.
Right.
And it was a great product. It's just they have it backwards.
Yeah, now it's not like that. It's ridiculous. So that's got to get figured out, especially what's going on with Bally Sports.
Yeah. What happens when every game is blacked out and then every half of the league's streaming
there's no
cable company just filed for bankruptcy?
Yeah. Come on, Bobby.
We're just streaming them on Twitter, I guess.
Come on, Bobby. We got to figure that out.
Dude, Bob. All
right,
this may be the most dynamic stolen base race ever. We need it.
Let's end the episode with a little mini LaLima lounge as he tells you about his takes on the arbitration process.
All right, so here it is. So this is Ryan Thompson. He is a relief pitcher for the Tampa Bay Rays, and he tweeted out, and it's a really interesting read. Like, there's some nerding out in here that I don't quite understand, but I got the gist of it. So he tweeted out, and he said, "My thoughts concerning arbitration, a thread. I want to make it clear that although I lost my case, there is absolutely no ill will towards the Rays as they were as professional, as respectful as possible considering the circumstances. This is merely a review of the process." So two of the most popular arbitration cases over the last couple of weeks are Corbin Burns from the Milwaukee Brewers and Kyle Tucker here in Houston. Kyle Tucker lost his, Corbin Burns lost his. Corbin Burns is the ace for the Brewers. In that arbitration case, they told him he was the reason why they didn't make the playoffs.
That's outrageous.
Kyle Tucker, obviously, he talked about it. He said, it is what it is what he said.
So, also the Tucker was like 2.5 million spread. Like that's
correct. He asked for 7.
He
asked for 7.5. He got 5.
The Corbin Burns was like 725.
Yeah. So
nice.
Arbitration. They they try to negotiate. If they can't come to an agreement, they go to independent arbitrators that sit in meetings, hear both sides of the case, and then they rule in favor of one or the other. Ryan Thompson obviously lost his case. And so these are just and if you want to go read it, go check him out on Twitter at @R_Thompson15. So here's some of the ones that just kind of stuck out to me. I'm not going through the whole thread. He said, we had to, here it goes. Our approach to the hearing was to stay as strict to the criteria as possible. My concern was that the 3 arbitrators have an unknown knowledge of the game of baseball. Maybe they play fantasy baseball or maybe they call scoring runs points. No one knows. We had to assume that the arbitrators were savvy enough to understand basic rules and statistics, and I believe that assumption was incorrect. So essentially, these 3 arbitrators have no clue about the game of baseball. That's a problem to me. How are you going to sit here and listen to a pitcher, and we know how pitchers are, and we know the statistics behind pitching and just in the game of baseball in general. How are 3 random people going to sit in a case and hear all this stuff that they really have no fucking clue about? That's one issue with me. Then it goes through and he's talking about statistics, relievers, setup man, blown saves, career BAA, meltdowns is not an official MLB stat, so forth and so on, buzzwords. Okay, so he's like giving all these different statistics, presenting his case, time on the injured list, missing playoffs, so forth, so on. Here we go. So the flaws. I was told leading up to my case, it was paramount not to share the date of my case for the arbitrators may be able to research me and create a bias. However, upon entry to the hearing, they all have their phones out and then use them freely during the breaks. After the case, they don't sit in the room and hash out the decision, but rather they head to the hotel bar. It is extremely disconcerting that the arbitrators are socializing, drinking, and using their devices prior to making a decision. And he says, I'm not at all assuming foul play, just an obvious flaw I witnessed. So basically, these people are in this room Googling stuff about him and creating themselves a bias. Oh, Ryan Thompson missed 15 games, 20 games. I don't really like that. I'm more of a Rays fan than a Ryan Thompson fan. I'm going to rule towards them. And then after both sides put both of their cases together and present it, these people just, all right, boys, I'll see you at the bar. First Heineken's on me.
That's rough.
They go to the bar and discuss this shit?
That's rough.
This is someone's livelihood at stake.
Those
are the flaws that I found in that thread. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, there's some things that can be fixed.
Arbitrators need to have some sort of basic knowledge about the game of baseball, in my opinion, and they damn sure cannot be able to go through their phones in the middle of the hearing or during breaks or whatever the case is, and they go to the bar. Now, it may not happen like that all the time.
Yeah.
But, dude, come on.
But this is the first time we had a player completely transparent like that.
Oh, and there could be worse stories.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
That they just don't talk about.
They go to the bar. Imagine they got two files. Here's the Rays file. Here is Ryan Thompson's file. And these dudes go to the bar, knocking down you know what? What do you like? What's the drink that you always get?
Old-fashioned.
Old-fashioned. Imagine you're getting an old-fashioned. I'm knocking down a tall boy Modelo, and you don't drink, but you're
Drinking
just
chocolate milk.
Got that lemonade.
Yeah, you got a lemonade, and you're knocking down a hot dog, and we got these case files in front of us.
He's eating a hot
then
dog
next
at a
thing you
bar?
know-
At a
and then-
hotel bar hot dog?
Yeah, why not? We're at Biggio's down off right by the ballpark.
But
Right?
imagine you're also there and like Sports Center's on TV, things
Yeah.
on TV,
Yeah.
like that there could be a story on TV that's affecting
Or
Also, what if I'm a fan? What if I'm a fan? I
Right.
know I'm a third party
arbitrator, yeah.
but I'm a fan.
Well, that's where I get the arbitration, like the arbiters should not have a bias. So
Yeah.
I get getting people outside the game of baseball. But I mean, I don't know if there should be some sort of introductory video that
Yeah.
MLB makes to like get the basics down for them so they know what they're talking about and it's not just
But I think MLB in this sense is on the owner side, team side, right?
Yes.
They're trying to keep money
No,
in their
exactly.
pockets compared to
Absolutely.
the. So I think
Maybe
the players'
having him-
union should have something
Yes.
that protects them because
Like even-
or it's just something
But just imagine,
an
like,
agreed upon 5-minute video that
if-
breaks down the rules and like
in any company, any business across America, we'll just use us as an example. That at the end of the year, we have a performance review with Brian, and we
Yeah.
had our third party thing, and it goes on, and then Brian leaves, goes downstairs, and those arbitrators are right outside a bar on Main Street, just sitting there like reviewing it. Like that's not gonna give him the warm and fuzzies. Like
No.
what? Like you can't if you're gonna do that, go somewhere else. Don't
Yeah.
do it at the bar where he sees it.
You're at the hotel
You know what I
bar,
mean?
like-
Have some wherewithal.
Have some feel, man. Like seriously, like imagine, and this might sound like childish or whatever, but imagine these three people. I'm just gonna say that they're dudes. Let's say they're guys, they're males that were the three independent arbitrators. They go to the hotel bar, knocking down a couple of beers, reviewing the case. I thought this, I thought that. One of them gets a good buzz. Next thing you know, they take a couple shots and they're kind of fucking off. Good-looking waitress, good-looking bartender. One dude starts hitting on her. Next thing you know, they're not paying attention to this case.
yeah.
yeah. I mean,
You get-
it just so many different scenarios could go wrong there.
And it shouldn't. We
It
shouldn't
just-
even have to discuss this
No,
right now
it should
because
be-
of this.
It should be
But good on Ryan to bring
Yeah.
that out.
Right, and it's not the Rays' fault.
No, yeah, it's the
not
third
his
party.
fault.
It's a third party.
no. I mean, they're
This has got to be.
like you said, they were doing because he talked about how they were using some like the meltdown statistics
Yeah.
that to somebody who doesn't know anything about baseball, they hear that he's melted down. this
meltdown.
time.
Whoa.
Yeah, I mean, so fair to the Rays for their lawyers or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
like they did their job. You know,
Yeah, you can't blame the Rays for
Right.
presenting it
The
the,
whole
way they
process
did.
needs
The
to
process
be
is
It needs an overhaul. I don't know what the fix is, but it needs to be looked at.
and
for
that's why I
sure.
think we always said it on here. We'll keep saying it. Like, avoid going to arbitration
Yeah.
with your players if you can, because
It's
it's
just ugly.
It's an ugly process.
Yeah, and that ruins like Corbin Burns. I would not doubt that he's going to leave that organization.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, your rapport and your emotional equity that you built up with the players and their camp and the decision makers is gone. And that means if you want him back, now you're going to have to overpay him,
He
right?
threw,
Like to stay out. Like
Look at his stats.
he
Se-
threw 202 innings with a 2.94 ERA.
They blamed it
is
on him.
is $750,000 worth
No,
pissing off your ace?
No.
And if you want to re-sign him, you're going to
yeah.
have to pay more than that
Yeah,
727
exactly.
you just
would
saved.
save money on the extension.
You're robbing Peter to pay Paul.
Paul, right? Boom.
Like,
you might as well.
you like that one? That was
yeah,
good.
it is a good one. That's a nice one. I would say you should probably buy out the arbitration years in the
100%.
contract extension.
100%.
Cheaper that way. I mean, come on.
Don't.
So I don't know.
Imagine the conversations with like the Marlins or the Pirates
Ugh.
or the Royals right now. Like if you go to arbitrate, like they are looking at every half penny.
Don't piss on Peter and tell Paul it's rain. That's what I'm saying.
That's it.
That's
Change
how
the history books.
That's how we're gonna
That
end
is
it.
what we're
That's-
saying from
that is
here
the-
on. That was good.
Perfect way to end this.
That is actually you have your fastball, kid.
End this episode. Josh, take us out, man.
That was good. That was
Don't
strong.
pee on
Take us
Paul.
No, we won the World Series. Why you take us out? We're running this back
Don't-
the entire year
Pee on Paul and
until
tell Peter it's rain.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because Paul's gonna tell you it was piss
Yeah.
or
What?
Peter.
No.
Peter
Thank
got
you for
Who
listening
got
and
peed
watching
on?
Who
Beyond
got
the
peed
Diamond podcast. We have Dez, Brian, Josh, Peter, and Paul in the other room. We'll see you next time.
Peace.
Love you guys.